Good morning to the people who joined from USA. Good afternoon to my friends from London. And good evening to the people from India and late evening to people from Australia. Thank you very much for joining this interesting session on JIRA and Confluence. A quick introduction about myself. My name is Lakshmi None. So I'm certified all these things. Okay. I don't want to talk much. I don't like talking about these certifications. But what I want to talk about is my experience. I have overall 21 years of experience. I started my career as a Java programmer and then became tech lead, project manager, a program manager, a delivery lead, and then switched my careers towards agile in 2012. I started as a scrum master, a senior scrum master, and then scaled up my skills, became an agile coach, worked as an agile coach in Belgium for Telenet for a couple of years there, and few years in Australia for National Australia Bank, and then currently I'm working for a product engineering company. Yeah, so that's my background. Apart from this, I also do a lot of free webinars and I also do some paid trainings as well. We'll talk a little bit later. By the way, I'm not going to give any sales pitch here. It's more intention is to contribute my skills and knowledge to the community. Good. Starting the session. That's myself. Okay. I always like pictures because it, as my dad used to say, it's picture speaks a lot and brings us to the same page. Yeah. So let me. I received so many messages on my WhatsApp saying that can we have some agile touch to this Jira and Confluence? And look, if I want to tell about if I start speaking about Jira, I'm sorry, Agile, Scrum, I may not be able to cover Jira and Confluence enough, but I'll try my best to balance both Scrum and Jira. Yeah, so that will be very very interesting. And some of you have asked me, Lakshmi, what is this Agile and these things? For your information, I have given another a free webinar last week at the same time, and my link is available on my LinkedIn. I will ping you my LinkedIn details so you can watch. But for those who are new, a quick introduction about this one. Let's start from the basics, right? So whenever you want to deliver a project, whenever you want to deliver a work to the customer, so you will be having these business people, and these business people having certain set of requirement. Those are called the business requirement document. This will be given to the IT teams. These are the software teams here, and they have all the required skills to translate these requirements into a working software for our end customer. So earlier, way back, I mean, like a decade ago, 2 decades ago, we used to have, like even nowadays also, unfortunately, some of the companies they are still going on with the waterfall ways of working. So in the waterfall ways of working, we, we used to have this phase-wise approach. Whenever we pick up a requirements, we do a high-level analysis. We understand, okay, what exactly we need to do here, followed by the design. Okay, so we understood what exactly we need to do and then how to build it. There we will keep, we will have some high level solution, low level solution, followed by development. So here actual construction of the software happens and then followed by the testing. Here they will do the validation whether these guys have built in accordance with the business requirement or not. In case of any discrepancies, any gaps, so they will just identify the gaps in the form of bugs or defects that will be fixed by these guys. And once your software is defect free, it will be moved to the customer. This is how traditionally a project will be constructed from the beginning till end. The amount of time it is taken from the beginning till end, it is also called as time to market. TTM, we call it as time to market. How much of time your software, I mean, the requirements has shaped, turned up, and then landed into the hands of the customer. Time to market. So earlier, time to market, because we are trying to deliver large chunk of work over a period of time. The time to market is like 1 year to 2 years. with my experience, right? Most of the project they used to take this much of time. So what are the disadvantages? Mainly, I'm not able to engage this customer till end of 1 year or 2 years. So customer engagement is very and in case if the needs of the customers getting changed, it is very hard for me to embrace these changes, because we are just going for an upfront analysis and a design. Based on the design, we are doing this development. Okay, and lot of other things also there. But why these ways of working started failing? Because the needs are drastically changing. Gone are the days where you can predict the needs of the customer for 1 year or 2 year, what my customer wants in the down the line 2 years. Gone are those days. The needs of the customers and market conditions are drastically changing. It is very hard for us to predict the needs of the customer in the long term. Very hard. So if, for example, if you are starting your work in 2021 and then you are trying to deliver your work in 2024, 30 to 40% of the work could have been wasted. Waste in the sense like, whatever the work that you assumed that it will be satisfying the needs of the customer, not satisfying, because the customer needs got changed, and whatever the money and your amount invested here, all the efforts and all those things, they have gone in vain. So so that itself is called a risk. With these ways of working, you are embracing for a large risk. So in order to mitigate the risk, what we have to do? So we have to understand the needs of the customers very regularly and then try to deliver the value accordingly. That is the only success mantra. There is no other shortcut. There is no other way. So what we understood, so in the waterfall ways of working, the time to market is really high. It's taking to 1 year to 2 years, and we are not able to satisfy the customer, and we are embracing for large risk. What is the solution for this? This is the problem statement. So solution for this is, we need to have a better strategy in satisfying the needs of the customer. Since the needs of the customers are drastically changing, so it is very much important for us to understand the needs of the customer regularly and deliver value. Not only that one, take the feedback, how the customer is receiving our value. Is the customer happy, neutral, sad, frustrated? We have to understand, empathize with the customer, deliver the value accordingly in shorter cycles. Yeah. So in order to mitigate this risk, what we need to do? We need to deliver values in shorter cycles. Right? So our solution to this approach is delivering the value. So this is a shorter cycle: deliver the value, deliver the value, 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 value. So you are delivering customer value here, 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 everywhere. Shorter cycles. So with this, you are able to significantly reduce the risk, because hardly you are spending here maybe 1 month or maybe 2 or 3 weeks of time. Again, less 1 month. So every month you are aiming to deliver a valuable functionality to the customer. If the customer is not happy, so that's okay. You are going to incorporate the feedback here, and you are going to make it better and then try to make customer happy. So the amount of risk involved is very less. So this is new ways of working, or agile ways of working, or you can tell that it's in Scrum. Scrum is one of the framework under agile umbrella. So in the Scrum, we deliver the value in shorter cycles, which are nothing but sprints. Okay. So in Scrum, we try to deliver value in sprints. We aim to deliver the value by end of every sprint. So the duration of the sprint is like maximum of 1 month. We will try to minimize. However, the industry standard is 2 weeks. When can we do 1 month, 1 week sprint? When can we do 3 week sprint? We will discuss maybe a little bit later if time permits. Yeah, I have to see about the time as well. So we are driving to deliver the value in the terms of sprints. That's clear. Let us quickly understand about the how this Scrum works. So here we have the product owner, and these guys will be the business people or stakeholders, business people. So this product owner basically represents the needs of the stakeholder community, gathers the requirements, understand the pulse of the market, gathers the inputs from the market, and process that information and represent the needs of the stakeholder in the form of epics and user stories. And that will be recorded in product backlog. Product backlog. So that high level information is represented in the form of epics. This is another epic. Another epic. So where the product owner is recording that information? In product backlog. Your product backlog is the source of truth. It is an inventory for the product. For example, Lakshmi is a product owner of Amazon. Sorry, a disclaimer here I want to make. Whatever the examples of the companies of any kind of information that I'm using, it is just only for example purpose. I'm not here to promote any company or to degrade any of the companies. So just that's a disclaimer. Thank you. So let us assume that Lakshmi is a product owner of Amazon company. So what I want to do, I always want to make my product successful. I want to maximize the value of the product by delivering value continuously. So I need to represent the information in the form of epics, user stories, and then try to deliver whatever is most valuable functionality to the end customer. So all these, let's say if you take in the Amazon, you have the buying, selling, and all those things. So that buying, you can think of one epic. Selling can be one epic. Yeah, maybe customer services can be one epic. That's how a product owner represent that information. Or maybe let's take about, maybe since most of you have joined from India, maybe I'll just take one of the familiar banks in India. Let us say if I'm the product owner of this particular bank, so I want to represent the needs of the customer, okay, in the form of epics and user stories. A large functionalities. Here, accounts is one epic, maybe cards is one epic, loans is one epic. Yes, right. So let us try to understand how the product owner is representing this information in the form of epics. What I will do, I will teach a bit of theory, and then I will also help you to understand how these are being managed in practice. People are working from home, especially after the post-COVID era. Everybody is working from home, distributed teams. So we need to have a mechanism for a better transparency, for a better collaborative platform. One way of, not one way, I think the only way of relying, everybody is sitting at home and we want to do it efficiently is with the help of usage of some tools. All these agile activities can be tracked in many tools. There are a lot of tools in the market. We have Rally, we have version 1, and we have uh, Microsoft Team Foundation Server, and we also have Atlassian products called JIRA. This is a company, Atlassian.com. Great fan. I'm a great fan of this company. Right. So it is a product based company. When we are talking about a product, so we are very clear now, right? So a product continuously deliver value to the customers, understanding the needs of the customer. A product continuously deliver for how long? Indefinitely. There is no limit. Indefinitely, it has to. It must deliver value. Engage the customer, continuously deliver value. The moment you stop delivering the value, your competitor will deliver and your customers will switch over to your competitor. Simple. You will be fading away slowly from the market because you are not trying to you are not delivering the value to the customer anymore. So this Atlassian also, it continuously understands the needs of the teams, organizations, and reshape its products. One of the familiar product that Atlassian has is Jira software. As you can see, Jira is the number one software tool used by the agile teams across the world. Used across the world. Not only that, I'm not exaggerating. So you can validate this one with the help of with the data. I always take decisions based on the data. Maybe let's say if you go to the LinkedIn and then just type here Scrum or Jira and then just go for United States, you will be having a lot of Scrum Master jobs, just posting every few hours. Maybe let's say this 1 hour ago, 16 hours ago. Yeah. And most of the companies, they will be asking that, Jira and Confluence. So maybe take care of the Jira projects end to end. Yeah. Just trying to tell you about that Jira, 2 years Jira and Confluence. So you will be getting plenty of option. So plenty of job, and it became almost a mandatory in the job description like that. Uh, Knowledge on the Jira tool is very much essential. Similarly, you can go to Indian jobs or any part of the world. You can see. No wonder why this agile, the Atlassian Jira became number one tool. Many of the companies are using this tool as their preferred tool to manage their agile activities. Do we have to purchase it? You can get it for free. If you like it, just go and buy the licenses. So with this Jira software, what you can do, you can plan your work. You can create your user stories. You can plan your sprints. And once the planning is done, you can track the progress of the work. And you can also release. You can also release the work, and you can also do a lot of beautiful reporting. I will show you that. Right. Okay. So you can, what are the key activities that we can do with the help of this product? Planning, tracking, releasing, reporting. These are the main core things that we need to have in a project. Yeah. And what are the companies? It's a number one tool, right? So plenty of companies across the world. You can see these logos, right? Salesforce, AHA, X-Ray, Zero. Plenty of companies are using Jira as a preferred tool. How to get it? Anyway, it's free, right? So just not free for everyone. Get it for free. If it is more than 10 people, you have to pay for licensing charges. But less than 10 people, you can just go and then use this free platform for practicing. How can you install it? Just because Jira and Confluence is a good products. So just select that, no credit card required. So they don't play around with you. So you are safe to just progress with your next steps. Okay, so just give your email address and give your site name. I'm just giving site name, maybe for example, today is 17 July, 17 July, something like that, 17 July professional scrum master, yeah, or practical scrum master, agree. That's it. That's all you have to do. And Jira will create an instance for you in the cloud where you can start practicing. So I don't want to waste the time. So it's going to take not too long, but some time. Let's continue. So I'm going to use my previous instances where we have already created. So once that instance is created, you will be able to see the view like this. So let's go back to the theory. So now as a product owner, let's talk about this bank. Yeah, let's take this example of a bank. And as a product owner, I want to make these requirements in Jira. I want to represent these requirements in the Jira in the form of epics. So first of all, I want to create a project. So whenever a set of new requirement comes, so it goes into the new project. How to create a project in Jira? Let's start from scratch. I am creating a project. You can use your Scrum template, Kanban template, because we are planning to deliver value in an iterative model. We are going for Scrum. I'm going for Scrum. I'm just telling that we have to use for Jira and company managed. So you have a lot of flexibility with company managed. Let's choose company managed and your maybe just say my ICICI, my ICICI bank or my ICICI product, just giving the name. So creating a project in Jira is as simple as giving a name to the project, at least for your practice purpose. In real time, that will be a little bit different story. You will have a JIRA administrator in your company. They have to understand the nature of your deliverables. They will apply the workflows and all those things. But for now, let's understand that. So what you are doing, you are just creating the Scrum and create the name of the project, create. Good. A project got created for us. Nice. Good. So this is the backlog. So this is the backlog. This is the one backlog I'm talking about. Now let us start understanding one by one. So the product owner went to the workshops and gathered the requirements from the stakeholders, understand the needs, and represent the needs in the form of epics. Epic is nothing but a large chunk of functionality that we are aiming to deliver to our end customer. So end customer. So first thing we want to understand is, let's say as a product owner, I want to deliver maybe accounts functionality for our end customers so that the customers, they can manage their savings account and business account, so on and so forth. So we want to represent that accounts as an epic. Yeah. So in JIRA, let us see how a product owner gathers these requirements and represent. By the way, those who are not familiar with this, how the stories are represented in Agile, right? So we don't really write, yes, it is recording, everything will be shared. Yeah, don't worry, everything, all the steps will be shared. Yeah. So in Agile, we represent the requirements from the user perspective. We are not going to write the requirements what we want to deliver. Gone are those old days. It is very much important for us to understand the needs of the user, pain points of the user. That is the reason we are going to write the customer centric requirement. Some of you might be familiar with the design thinking, human centered design, HCD, personas. Understanding the customer journey is important. How the customer want to understand, how the customer wants to use our flow. How can we simplify the flow of our customer? So it is always about the customer. So it is important for the product owner to write these requirements from the customer perspective. That is the reason the product owner writes the requirement. For example, I'll just show you. Let's say the customer wants to have these accounts functionality. So what is the requirements? The requirements are written in the form of user stories. So here, as an ICICI bank customer, I want accounts functionality to manage my accounts. Yes. So this is the first story that we are writing. So here what we'll be having, who is the user, what is that we are trying to deliver, and then why we are delivering. Who, what, why. These are the three constructions that needs to be there when we are writing a user story. Or even for the epics, we can use the same format. Now let us see how this particular product owner is giving the, let's say I'm the product owner, how I am representing this epic. Creating an epic. Yeah, that's the first thing we are doing. Whenever you want to create anything in JIRA, click on create button. Ensure that you are on the right project. I'm saying that my ICICI product, and ensure that you are choosing the right issue type. What is this issue? Normally when we say issue in general English, right? So we say when something is not well, we say that, hey, I have an issue here. So something is not really going well. But in JIRA language, the issue is a category. It can be a task, it can be a story, it can be an epic. Epic is a large functionality. Story is a smaller valuable chunks we are going to deliver to the customer. A bug is a tester has validated a requirement and it is not matching the business requirement. A bug can be raised. Similarly, a simple task. For now, let us understand how an epic can be created. Epic. What is the name of the epic? The name of the epic is accounts. What is the summary? You can just create a summary, or let us say the summary is this one. Good. You see? So my ICICI MIC epic has been created. You might be wondering, come on, the backlog still shows 0 issues. Where my epic has gone? Always remember, as I said, the epic is a large functionality. So the developers, they are not going to work on the epics. The epic, we will be breaking down the epic into user stories. We will break down the epics into user stories. And user stories will be broken down to the tasks. Yeah, this is called as a taxonomy. How well we are slicing the value to the customer. Why we have to slice? I do take a lot of interviews for the Scrum Masters, by the way. I will be asking all these challenging questions. Why we have to slice? What will happen if I directly ask this to deliver the value? Because if we are trying to deliver the value, for example, accounts may take 6 months or 7 months. So till 7 months, I'm not able to engage the customer. I want to break down the epic into smaller chunks so that I can engage the customer early, so that I can get my return on investment early. That is very, very essential. Two advantages by breaking down. So as a product owner, I am able to engage the customer very, very early, right? So this is the customer, and I'm able to deliver the value to the customer. Customer engagement is one important thing, and another thing is my return on investment. I have invested, say for example, 1 million on this one, and I'm able to get the return on investment very, very early. So that is the reason you break down and it will also help us to prioritize, because we are aiming to deliver always the most valuable chunks to the customer. Yeah, good. So the epic will be, once you create the epic will be in the epics panel. You see the accounts functionality. Good. Again, I'm not promoting any bank here, just taking some examples so that you guys can correlate in real time how this is. No, I don't like teaching just only the slides. I never hardly use slides. Okay. So now accounts got created. Under accounts, here customer can choose the savings account and business account. So that is the smaller chunks. So here the accounts epic is broken down into savings account and business account. Now let us create the stories. Going there. Now I'm going to create. So what I will do, I will just use the same thing. So this requirement, I'm going to break down into savings account so that I can manage my savings. And another story, breaking down, right? So it is business accounts. In order to manage my business transactions. Now the epic is being broken down to this particular story. Now I'm going to show you how we can create a story. Again, whenever you are creating, create, go to the story. First one is savings account, create. Good. Look, as a product owner, what I'm doing, whatever the information I have gathered from the business, okay, or it could be an agile business analyst as well. So you also need to know all these things in real time, how you are going to represent the needs here. Good. Now you see my backlog items. This is my product backlog. I am representing this value. These are the inventory. These are the list of value delivery items that are there in this particular backlog. And this backlog needs to be in sync with the market changes. It has to be in sync with the needs of the customer. It has to be in sync with the product roadmap. What is a product roadmap? A product roadmap is, sorry, I can't explain all these things in small time, but I'll just see. So this is how a product roadmap looks like. The product owner and business people, they align, they understand the needs of the customers, and then they will be aligning on a strategy. Okay, what is our product vision? What are the things that we need to do in order to achieve our vision? And let's say this is a quarterly roadmap. Okay, so this is how in real time your quarterly roadmap looks like. And a product owner needs to continuously update this product roadmap in sync with the market changes. Good. So your product backlog and product roadmap, they are in sync. If they are not matching, as a Scrum Master, it is your job to challenge the product owner. Hey, can you please update either of these? Yeah, good. So let's come back to our story. Now I have written this accounts. Now let's go to the cards, or maybe go for the payments. Yeah. Let me just go for another one more round quickly. I will do so that we have some backlog. Yeah. Now I'm going to create, and this time I'm going to create an epic called payments. Now I want to help the customers to make their payments. The customer can make payments using credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Yeah. I say as a bank customer, I want payments functionality to make my payments. This is an epic. Good. I'm just showing one more time quickly for you guys. So payments functionality getting created here. So when epic is created, what I told, epic will be in the epic. So in the payments epic panel here, now I'm breaking down this as a product owner. I'm breaking down this large chunk into smaller chunks, because if I want to deliver payments, it is going to take 1 year, and I don't want to keep waiting my customers without any making payments for 1 year. So this one I'm making payment, breaking down into smaller chunks. Like I want debit card functionality to make my payments using debit card. Yeah. And similarly, just quickly to save the time, I'm doing the copy paste. So this could be here a credit card. We can pay using credit card as well. And maybe I want to make the payments using my PayPal, to make my payment using my PayPal account. Now let's quickly create these stories in our JIRA. How to create a story? Create. So when we can create a story, because we have a couple of other stories, simply instead of creating another, we can check box this one, create another, and go here, go there, and create, go here, create. Enough, that's good. Create. Now I am forming the backlog. As a product owner, now I have a list of backlog items that needs to be completed. How I am going to deliver the value? To mitigate the risk, it is important to deliver the value in shorter cycles called sprints. This is the sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, like this. Let us assume that in sprint 1, I want to deliver accounts. In sprint 2, I want to deliver payments. In sprint 3, I want to deliver loans to my customers. Delivering the value here, delivering the value here, delivering the value here. So if I want to deliver the value here, I want to have a planning session. I want to have a refinement session here. Product backlog items needs to be refined. Refined with whom? Refined with the developer. So this guy is a product owner, and in Scrum, our development team is a cross-functional team. They have all the skills required to translate this requirement into a working software for our customers. This is a cross-functional team. So the product owner will be explaining the requirement to this team. The team, they will understand the details very, very clearly. And the team, they will do the estimation. So the product owner, each in the product backlog refinement meeting, When it will happen? It will happen before the planning meeting. So before the planning meeting, your refinement meeting happens. So the product owner is making the requirements clear to the development team. So that, because it is the who will do the work, our development team. So they need to be clear what are all these requirements about. So as a product owner, I represented the requirements in the product backlog, and it is important for me to explain to the development team so that they can develop without any ambiguity. I have to explain the requirement. I have to explain the acceptance criteria as well. What is this acceptance criteria and where can I write this one? Where can I add additional information? As a product owner, if I want to add any additional information, so you can just, for example, savings account, yeah, you can click on this and you are going to have a detailed window panel where the product owner, developers, anybody can contribute and add the information here. So as a product owner, if I want to add the maybe let us say, for example, acceptance criteria, each of this topic normally I talk around 1 or 2 hours. Sorry, due to lack of time, I just limit. Yeah. So acceptance criteria, again, in the acceptance criteria, you have a checklist based of acceptance criteria or scenario based acceptance criteria. So you have, given, when, then acceptance criteria, so on and then, and save. So the product owner is how the refinement happen. Product owner opens this one here and then explain the requirement to the team, and team will be understanding the details and then they will do the estimations. Again, estimation is again a bigger topic. In Agile, we estimate the user stories in the form of story points. Most of the organizations they do. Story points is about the relative estimation. It is just a unit given by the development team to this particular user story. Relatively, how complex is it? Whenever the team is estimating using story points, they will be taking about the complexity, how much of efforts we have, what is the uncertainty, what are the dependencies. They will take all these factors, then they will give the story points. It's just not only the efforts. Yeah. So let's say for this particular item, the team has estimated for maybe let's say the team has estimated 8 story points. Yeah, Fibonacci numbers. So you have in JIRA, you have the story point field, click 8. Let us say if the organization is using that absolute mandates, of course you have that field as well. So you have the original estimations as well. Let us say the organization is using maybe the mandates. Maybe let's say the team has told that, oh, it's going to take 6 days. Go ahead. Yeah, like that. So let us assume that in the refinement meeting, the team has estimated these fields and like this. And this refinement also has happened, let us assume. And this is maybe 5 story points. And this is, for example, maybe randomly just, we need to have some data to make these things happen. Yeah. And this story point is about maybe 8. Randomly I give. So your product backlog refinement is done. So with the product backlog refinement meeting, the team is very clear what is that upcoming work and everything is clear. Now in the planning meeting, in the sprint planning meeting happens very important topics we are discussing, team. Just please relax and then keep utmost attention. If you have any doubts, you can reach me on my phone, no problem. Yeah. So you have your sprint, and to make this sprint planning meeting, so to complete this sprint, first we need to have a planning session. What are the stories that we need to complete and how we are going to complete? A plan we need to have. Okay. And that will be the plan for our development team, which is nothing but your sprint backlog. Sprint backlog. Yeah. So the list of items that will be completed in this particular sprint. Right. Now let us see how the planning meeting happens. The first part is what are the stories that needs to be completed by the team. So the product owner or the scrum masters, they can create the sprint. Now you see, from the product backlog you have a sprint backlog. What is the view? So this is the product backlog, which is the inventory of all the items. And out of all items, as a product owner, I have taken the most valuable chunk of work, and then I am asking the team to take up into the sprint backlog one by one. So the team, it's not about the push mechanism, guys. Let us understand there is no pushing here. It is always about the pull. The team, based on their capacity, understands from the product owner what is the most valuable. Lakshmi, what are the most valuable for you? What is our capacity? So we do need to have a capacity planning and all the things. So based on the capacity, the team will pull the work from the product backlog, keep it into the sprint backlog. Sorry, excuse me, friends. I'm just taking a step back. I want to help you also to I thought of skipping it due to lack of time, but it's okay. I know session will get extended. I will help you to understand how these epics, all these stories needs to be linked to the epics. Okay, because you and me, we have seen the session. We know that these accounts belongs to the accounts epic, but other people, they don't know. As a product owner, it is very much important for me to make my product backlog transparent, accessible, meaningful. Yeah. So when you click on the epics, you have the epics panel, and linking a story to epic can be really easy. Just drag and drop it. Just drag and drop it. Yeah. And this belongs to payments. Yeah. You can just drag and drop it. Okay, good. Now with the sprint planning, first part is what? What are the stories that needs to be completed? So from the product backlog, it is going into the sprint backlog. Now once the team is happy, the product owner or scrum master, they will start. What is the goal? Together as a team, what is that we are trying to achieve by end of the sprint? By end of the sprint, what is that we are trying to deliver? We will be delivering accounts functionality for our customers. That is your sprint goal. The sprint goal motivates the team. Like, what is the purpose of this particular sprint? So all your sprint goals needs to align with the product goal. A goal here, a goal here, a goal here. It needs to be in alignment with the product goal. Yeah. So in JIRA, you can give a sprint goal, maybe enable our customers with accounts. Start. So the first what part is completed. The second part of the sprint planning is more about how the development team, they need to understand, hey, we have given a commitment to Lakshmi that we will be completing the savings account, but let us identify a plan how we are going to complete the story. So that how part, the development team is responsible. So the development team, they are self-organizing team. They will be breaking down the story into tasks. So first, how we are going to complete? Maybe we have to do analysis of the savings account. Maybe we have to do a development of the savings account, and we have to do a testing as well. Create. So once you do this, your story becomes a parent, your tasks become children. You see the view has changed now. Not only this, because our team is a self-organizing team, and I can assign this to Raju and development team. Let's say, by the way, these are all my previous batch students. Yeah, because for each of my batch student, I just create the instances for them and they practice it here. So this is assigned to maybe Mohammed. So this story will be working by this cross-functional team. Right? So with that, your sprint planning is completed. So the team, together as a team, we are very clear what needs to be completed, how we are going to complete. So your sprint backlog will be owned by the development team. Your product backlog, who will own the product backlog? The product owner. Who will own the sprint backlog? Your cross-functional developers. It is their baby. And here it is, this is the developers. They will own the sprint backlog. The product owner owns product backlog. So the product backlog contains all the items, the top most valuable items. We are going to pull it into the sprint. The development team completes all the work and they deliver value to the end customer. And it's a continuous process. So let us see during the daily scrum on a daily basis, because our sprint duration is 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks of time, the development team, they will complete all the stories and then deliver it. Let us see how they can progress the work. So the developers on a daily basis, they will be, let's say on the day 1, they will complete the work, analysis is done. Day 2, day 3. So once all the tasks are done, yeah, you are where story is done. You can see JIRA is marking as done. On day 6, day 9, let's say on the day 10, we have completed all the tasks. Complete the work, complete. So we have successfully completed our accounts functionality. So from the product backlog, accounts got burned out. Yeah. So I'm able to deliver accounts here. So this is in the first sprint, accounts got completed. Now in the next sprint, payments. In the next third sprint, loans. Like that, I continuously deliver value. So this is how a sprint is executed in JIRA. On the last day of the sprint, what is going to happen? In the Scrum framework, we have an event called sprint review. So the developers, they will be showcasing the work, demonstrating the work, yeah, to the product owner and also to the business people. So the business people, they will review the work and they will give the feedback. The Scrum team and stakeholders come together. Hey, how our requirement has turned up, shaped up, and the business people will give the feedback. And it is important for the product owner to incorporate that feedback into the product backlog. So the business and IT needs to work closely, collaboratively. One of the agile principles. Yes. So that assumptions will be very, very less because we are frequently interacting and then understanding what is the need and then what is the delivery. Right. So that's how the sprint review. And the last thing that happens is the retrospection. How team collaborates and then understands how was our journey, what are the things that really went well, what are the things that did not went well, and some action items. Yeah. So this is how your sprint is managed. In the Jira tool, you have the reporting as well. Okay. So we have seen how to run the sprint, and if you want to see the reports, you have a lot of reports over a period of time. Jira is a product, right, based on the needs of the teams and organizations. It has introduced a lot of reports. First report is the sprint report. What I will do, I will just go to my other project where you have more data because it is more about the reporting, right? So I can show better reporting. When you go to the reports, if you want to see the sprint report, go to the sprint. Let's say you have access to this, you don't know anything much. So just maybe you want to see what are the things that went in sprint 1. You have all the details of the sprint 1. You want to go and then see sprint 3, how it has shaped up. You can see. And how many stories got carry forwarded, how many stories not completed, all these things you can see. And you have a concept of velocity, how many story points team has completed, velocity chart. And you have the burn down chart as well. When you go to my LinkedIn and then see there is a webinar that I have given on the burn down chart. On the burn down chart, I have given a 1.5 hour webinar just only on the burn down chart. All these things are such an important things that you need to know as a scrum master, as a product owner, as a developer. We should not do the work just for the namesake. We have to understand why we are doing this one. Always challenge ourselves why. What is the value add we are getting? What will happen if it is not there in the system? If it is not creating value, let us remove it. Let us not work on the items which is not creating any value. We don't want to work on any items that is creating any waste, which is nothing but lean thinking. Yeah, we don't want any waste. How to minimize the waste? As a scrum master, you will be thinking all these things. How can I minimize the waste in the system? How can I maximize the interactions? How can I maximize the value? What are the activities that I need to do as a scrum master so that the team can deliver more in shorter cycles? This is more about the scrum master. Good. So that's the one thing. And if you want to do a search in Jira, sorry, please keep on mute. I'm very sorry, please keep on mute. I will give you time to ask questions here. So if you want to do a search in Jira, you have a basic search where you can do the search from the drop down. For example, I want to see the epics from the ABC Bank. I can click on ABC Bank and then I can click as type as epic. Yeah, so you can get all the things. And you also have another search called advanced search, where I can write the JQLs. Advanced search in Jira is being managed by Jira Query Language. So Jira is very, very friendly tool. Yeah, I'm a great fan actually. I was using this extensively for last 6 years from the tenure. I was in Belgium in 2015. Yeah, so yeah. So if you want a project equal to ABC Bank and if somebody has asked you, hey, can you give me all the stories that are done? You're going to sell project equal to ABC Bank and issue type equal to story and status equal to, because we are looking for done items. So as a product owner or a scrum master, it is very much important for you to understand how to fetch the information. Jira is the source of truth for many of the organization. So it is important for you to understand how to fetch the information efficiently. So look, I got all the stories that are done, and you can export the information as well. You can create the filters, and you also can, based on the filters, you can also create some visual dashboards. Like in my normal detailed classes, I will help you to understand. Due to that lack of time, I will not be able to show you, all these things. But so in Jira, we can configure an automated dashboard. One of the important role of the scrum master or a product owner is to be an information radiator. How efficiently we are radiating the information, how efficiently we are bringing transparency into the system. This is what the Jira tool is doing for all of us. How are we enabling collaboration though the teams are working remotely? Very, very important. So you don't know much about this ABC Bank project, but you can tell me, hey, Lakshmi, look at this, time elapsed and there is a scope change, and this is the status of the releases. And if I want to reconfigure it, I want to understand who is doing on what here. So just a second, I can just go and then configure, and instead of fixed version, I will just go and then see assignee, and I will just go, yeah, the status, and I can save it. It's a two-dimensional gadget, by the way. So simply you will be able to understand who are all the team members, what are the activities are there, and how many are done. I want to see how many issues the copy has done. Click on here. Jira will automatically take you to this one, right? So you can create a lot of wonders with this automated with JQLs, filters, and epics. This is how Jira will provide a lot of value add for your execution of the projects. So we are able to create the work, we are able to deliver the work, and we are able to report the work as well. Yeah, so that's how your Jira tool works. Similarly, like Jira, you have another tool called Confluence. That is another, not tool, another product from the Atlassian. This is the Confluence. Confluence is more for the documentation. It is very, very simple tool. I won't be taking too much time here. Yeah. With the documentation, you can always manage your project plans, definition of retro, definition of done, definition of ready, everything. So here if you go and then see my already created, just to minimize it, it's my touch screen, it just jumps here and there, right? So so you can see here how I have created the teams agreement, definition of ready, definition of done. As a scrum master, how you create the risk register, and you have to manage your team retrospections, like what went well, what did not went well, and the action items. Yeah. And then how you create this happiness wall, how do you measure the agile maturity of the teams? Important. As a scrum master, you need to measure the agile maturity of the teams, how well the teams are matured. Yes. So I want to understand how, what is the work, what are the activities that you are doing as a scrum master? What is the value add you are bringing to the teams, to the organization? I want to understand, I want to measure. Yeah, you need to understand this agile maturity and help the teams with the important files. And not only that one, because Jira and Confluence, they are very collaborative tools. I can fetch the information from Jira and then display it in the Confluence like this. And I can push the information from Confluence to Jira as well. Yeah. And you can see, you can do all these things. Yeah. And you can map these business requirements in user story in a page. And you can also integrate other applications with the Jira or Confluence. Yeah. So when you go to the apps, you can go and then install, for example, to show you examples, I have installed the story mapping. How can you, this is a story mapping exercise that we do, all right? So the product owners and the stakeholders, we align and do the story mapping exercise and identify the priorities. Based on the priority, that will be tagged again in the product backlog. Very important. All these things are real-time practical knowledge you need to understand, friends. I know there are plenty of organizations which are aiming to give some certifications. Yeah, I'm not against them. I'm not against anyone. But what I want to help you to understand is it is very much important for you to understand, have the practical understanding. How can you implement this, the theory of the Scrum in practice? Then only you will be able to crack interviews. Then only you will be able to perform your job more efficiently. You need to have a practical knowledge. No second line on this one. Yeah. So if you want to do the capacity tracking, so you can do the capacity tracking, like how many number of hours the team members has, how many number of hours the team members has logged. All that's capacity tracking you can do, and lot of things you can manage. Even in the Confluence as well, you can uh, do the reporting. Okay, whatever the Jira with the help. So we have any reports? Just a second. Requirements. Just checking. Okay, I think that's missing here. So, but we can effectively fetch the information from Jira to Confluence as well. And this cycle will continue. So continuously you will be delivering the value. It is nothing but an iterative incremental value delivery. In certain circumstances, the Scrum framework may not be applicable. In that case, you have to think of delivering the value continuously. So the one initial one I have shown you is an iterative incremental delivery. Sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, so on and so forth. Yeah. So here we have. And in some cases, we may have to deliver value continuously. Continuously we will be delivering the value. Okay. And then so for such cases, you can use Kanban. Whenever the nature of work is unpredictable, go for Kanban. Yeah. So whenever you have good amount of stories, requirement acceptance criteria clear, what exactly we need to do, so definitely you can go for Scrum and then go. With my experience, I have exclusively used Scrum for teams. I have used Kanban for teams. I have mixed the team. I have mixed Scrum plus Kanban. I also have used Kanban for design, Scrum for development, and then again Kanban for support. Multiple permutations and combinations. It is always, don't forget, Agile is always about your experimentation. Yeah. and evaluation. This is very, very important. You need to evaluate at each and every step, experimentation and evaluation. There is no single formula which best fits for all the teams. There is no single formula which best fits for all the organization. Each and every project is different. The nature of deliverables are different. So it is very much essential for the scrum masters and product owners to understand what is really working for the teams, what is not working. Do the retrospections continuously. Inspections and adaptations, very, very, very essential. Inspection and adaptation. At each and every step, we need to do this inspection and adaptation. In Scrum, we have the sprint planning meeting, your daily stand-up, your reviews, retrospection. Each and every event is an opportunity for you to inspect and adapt. Yes? Good. So how to create a Kanban project? Again, whenever you want to create a project, so just go there, create a project. Instead of Scrum, you can go for Kanban. You can use the template, you can use this managed, and let's say we want to go for ICICI support, create. In the Kanban, it is a continuous flow of work, so we don't have any timelines. So that is the reason you won't see any sprint report, velocity chart, burn down chart, which are against time. It is a continuous flow of value. So you have a backlog and you create a backlog items, team will select for development, in progress, done. So if you see the already existing maybe support project, and you see here, so this is the backlog, yeah, and you have, there is a concept called WIP limit, yeah, work in progress. So you can indicate what is the minimum number, what is the maximum number in this particular stage. So if you are exceeding, JIRA will alert with a visual indicator, hey, you have exceeded your WIP limits. So you need to have a mechanism to identify the bottlenecks where exactly things are taking time, yeah. So you need to just continuously flow the value, and then you can go for the releases. Once the things are released, you have, you can see the releases here. Okay friends, so we can do a lot of wonders here. I mean, due to lack of time, I was not able to cover many things, and each and every topic, as I said, I'm going to take a lot of things. Okay, I saw some of you people are asking me, so just I will open the floor for the question. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I have a lot of webinars as well. So you can just go and then see here, and then I have Facebook, and these are my phone number, this is my email, and I also have a Telegram group where a lot of, it's a good platform where I continuously do the support. It's just just want to help the people with the maturity of the teams and do the uh, job opportunities across the world. So this is the Alakshmi's Agile in practice. For example, just a few minutes ago, I just mentioned hiring for Scrum Masters and some webinar details, and some, look at this, test data management teams, and all this team will be getting continuous offers and they will declare. It's a good group. So I can just share you these links. I know some of you are asking. So what I will do, I will share you this link in the comments. So please see this chat comments, and then I'm sending it to that one. So you can join. There is no hard and fast. There is no restrictions to my Telegram group. If you think that I can be of help for you, please do not hesitate to join this Telegram group. Only restriction there in the Telegram group is I don't entertain any ads or fancy stuff. It is just only related to the Agile, JIRA, Confluence, unlimited support you will be getting. Okay, team. Good. Now, what I will do, I will and not only that one. In case, maybe just a 1 minute sales pitch as well, right? Uh, in case if you think that this practical knowledge is going to be really super helpful for you, okay, so you can just join my uh, practical scrum master training. I normally give a 1 month a batch, okay. So my training is normally for 14 days. It is not for 1 hour 2 hours, yeah, 1 day 2 day. It is a 14 days where I will help to go each and every step very much in detail, and with the help of JIRA and Confluence. It's a blend of Scrum, JIRA, Confluence, and all the best practices. Not all, sorry. So many best practices, and we will be covering in detail. So you can reach me in case if you are interested. And my new batch is starting on 26th, and it will be completing on 12th. Yeah, and plenty of my team, plenty of my students, they got the jobs as Scrum Masters and product owners across the world. Good. That's enough for the sales. Now I'm opening the floor to ask the questions one by one. I know a lot of you have many questions, and I'm very happy to see that we have more than 100 people, 132. It's a good number. So I'm not sure how far I can answer, but I will open the floor for 15-20 minutes for questions, and I will be happy to answer one by one, please.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, this is Henry.
Henry.
It's just a quick question I wanted to ask. Yes. When you were breaking down the stories from Epic,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I thought they were supposed to be broken down from epics to features, then to user stories.
Oh yeah, that's a big, because I have to speak only on the epics to user stories for at least 1.5 hour. Maybe I will show you my classroom slide how it will be done. So here epics and user stories. Just since you asked, right? I will be just quickly a quick minute kind of a thing. So we will understand what is that. Can you please go on mute, everyone? So what is that? How the traditional requirement looks? What are its downfalls, and how the team needs to have a bigger picture? And we will go for the user stories and the vertical slices, which will be delivering the value, and who, what, why. What are the guidelines to write the user stories? What are the some examples? Invest criteria, 3C criteria, acceptance criteria, and how the acceptance criteria look like. Okay, so this is, for example, it is an online banking customer want a strong password. Yeah, so what is that strong? The product owner will be disclaiming here. And let us say if the story is really big, how the product owner will be discussing this particular story, break down the story into smaller chunks. So that is this one. And then the epics, the user story, and is the this is the industry standard. Like you have a feature, as you are asking, feature will be broken down to the epics, epic will be broken down to the user stories, tasks. So at the release level, most of the organizations, so they are releasing at the feature or epic level, and these are the user stories the product owner can write, or the developers also, they can add their requirements, technical requirements. The product owner can add NFRs, non-functional requirements as well. Yeah, and each of the story will be broken down to the tasks by your developers. So that is called our taxonomy, how we are breaking down the value. And as that's a small thing, right? So here it's a feature. You can break down the feature into epics. In JIRA, this is the one. Yeah, epic will be broken down to the user stories. Yeah, or the other way is in Rally, if you see, or in the safe organization, if you are if you have learned that safe framework, scaled agile framework, what they will be doing is they will be taking that, hey, epic is the parent, and epic can be broken down to the features, and feature can be broken down to the stories. Okay, and don't worry about, oh, is it a feature comes or epic comes. It's like a chicken and egg. Yeah, so it all depends on how your uh, organization is adapting to this one, how your agile coaches they are setting up. This is called the value stream, how your value is streaming. So they can name this one anything, whether they call it as an epic or whether they call it as an story, feature, and epics. Is this the big ones? Is it the maximum thing? No, you have the initiatives as well. You can go, so initiative can be broken down to the features. Yeah, so business initiatives, or in some organizations you call it as a BO, business outcomes as well. So you have to understand, like that in 1 or 2 minutes I can explain this much to you.
Yeah, Lakshmi,
Yeah,
I wanted to add something. Let him not just beat your head on how it's broken. Companies these days choose how they want to do it. So that is not your major problem, because if you
Correct,
put your head wrap on this, you're
correct,
going to miss
correct.
the big picture.
That's
Yeah, some
yeah,
people even go from capabilities to epics, then
correct.
to,
Exactly.
yeah. So
Yeah.
don't get the hang of asking how it's broken. Just follow what your company is doing, because
Right.
every pet now is trying to put their own flavor into
That's
it.
that's that's the
Um,
reason. Yes, correct.
yeah, Lakshmi, I wanted you to touch a little bit in the Sprint Health gadget. And how do you actually use this? I mean, for people who haven't used it before, how do you use it to actually have measure value and see how the thing is working?
Look, there are multiple gadgets in the Jira Godwin. So when you go to the dashboards, when you go to this one, right? So you can add your own gadget. Yeah, so when you go and then add gadget here, and when you say load all gadgets, it all depends based on your need, based on the type of the stakeholder, based on what is the information that we want to show. You can just go and then see. Yeah. Okay, so Jira roadmap, and if you have some testing, let us say for this particular um, Jira instance, I have integrated the X-ray as a testing tool. That is the reason you are adding that additional gadgets where you can just see overall test results, pie charts, yeah, and you can see requirement list, sprint health gadgets, test execution, test plan, test summary, so on and so forth. So you can add the gadget, and once you have the data, you can just took it up. Let us say I want to pull uh, maybe the status of all the issues. So I can add a gadget, simply showing you. Going to the pie chart and add a gadget there. And I will, let's say, I have written a filter, for example, called some filter is there, which is having multiple projects. So I want to see the status. That's the thing. And then save. It will automatically tell me out of all these projects, how many are in to do, in progress, done. I want to see done. Go there and you have all the list of done items. Got it, Godwin?
Yeah.
Can I ask Godwin? This is Chichi.
Hi, Suchi.
Were you asking? Hi, were you asking about the Sprint Health
I wanted
gadget?
him, I wanted Lakshmi to kind of put a little context on the Sprint Health gadget,
Oh,
especially
okay.
when you come to the scope change. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
area. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I wanted, but that's okay. We can
No
always talk
problem.
about
No
that
problem.
after
No,
ending.
that's okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
I wanted
Thanks,
to
Lakshmi.
add on how I
Is
use that in my team,
add
if
Oh
I
yeah,
gadget.
go
can.
ahead. Mm-hmm.
Just a second.
Um,
Health, and you go to the Sprint Health gadget, and
mm,
you see what is the name of the team and save. It will automatically bring you the latest Sprint Health. And go ahead. How you want to? Uh, yeah, just please share your
yeah,
experience as well. Yeah, how you are using with your teams.
yeah. When I use the health gadget, I use it maybe during the mid sprint to just do an overall check on how we're progressing.
Hmm.
And more so, I do it when I feel like we're not meeting our
Yeah.
we're not meeting our goals or where we should be at. And I say, hey guys, we're 23% elapsed. We have 42 work,
Yeah.
42 to do. So how
Yeah.
do we feel about completing the sprint?
Right. Yeah. Okay. And with my experience, the good practice is that's good. Glad that what you are doing that one. You are saying that you just do it when you feel that you are deviating a little bit more. But another good practice, yeah,
Yeah.
another good
Mm-hmm.
practice I suggest is as a Scrum Master, during the daily stand up, at least at the end of the daily stand up every day, please help the team to visualize their burn down chart. Open the burn down chart and then see how the team is progressing with their work. That should be representing the status, how the team is progressing. Let's say if the burn down chart is looking like this, yeah, hey team, what's happening here? Like, yeah, because if I'm a program manager, if I see somewhere here and I know that, okay, the team, they were not able to complete anything, and how can I be confident that they will be completing all the work in next 2 days of time? Maybe here the stories are too long, or maybe they are not updating the Jira tool. Identify the reasons. Yeah, if the stories are too long, collaborate with the product owner and then see how can we break it down into the smaller chunks. Okay, good. Yeah. Any other questions, team?
I had a question about cycle time. I have a difficult time interpreting it.
So you have a difficult time in understanding the cycle time. Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah.
you have, okay, because I don't have this picture handy. Okay, cycle time and lead time. Maybe I'll just take a small picture. If you go maybe right, so if you see the lead time and the cycle time, yeah. So the lead time here, just from the picture you are seeing from the beginning till end time. No, not this is the maybe here. Yeah, here. Okay. So the cycle time is from the beginning you are starting the work till it is going live. So why this is the lead time? Lead time can be, for example, with my experience, right? So let's say this is the business idea, and this business idea will be going for feasibility assessment. Okay, so whether it is really possible or not to implement this idea in our organization, then it goes for the funding approvals, then it goes for the architectural security approvals, yeah, and then it goes for the delivery, then it goes for your release. What is the lead time? How much? And after this, customer will be able to understand. So all this process is a lead time. It is maybe, for example, this time is 6 months, and your delivery to here this is only maybe 1 month. Hey guys, why are we spending 6 months of time? Why the idea conversions and all those things are taking maybe 4 months of time? How can we minimize these waiting times so that we can deliver value to the customer early? We can engage the customer early. Always we need to see the options to reduce our time to market. Yes? Making sense, dear?
Yes, it is. But more so in JIRA, how do
Yeah.
you pick out those numbers,
Oh yeah.
average, the
Oh,
rolling?
that's a tricky one. By default in Jira we don't have such an option. However, Jira is number one tool. I completely respect it, and I'm a great fan of it. However, it doesn't have all these functionalities, and it doesn't limit us, right? So you can make it, maybe for example, go to the apps and you can integrate any app. For example, if you go and then see the time epic hierarchy, this is another plugin available, yeah, and I will show you. And here you go for ABC Bank, and I'm going for search, and you will be able to see the time. Look, you are asking for this one, how much time we have spent, how much time is remaining, what is the original time in
Right,
progress. Getting it?
right. Yes.
But if you are thinking of writing your own queries, your job will be a little bit miserable. You can write it, it's going to take some time, JQLs, because I do get a lot of inquiries. Hey Lakshmi, can you please help? I said, don't waste time in all those things. Go with the company with the business justification and then just get this plugin. That's it. Okay, so you can just go for this, like, so you have the epic, you have a story, you have the task, everything is clear. Who is doing what, how much time spending, what is the time remaining, percentage, what else you want. The companies, they will not be having any
Epic
question
hierarchy.
for me. Yeah, I mean the
Yeah, that's the
hierarchy.
problem.
Yeah, brother.
The problem is most companies will not want to buy those plugins, so
Look,
and
so it's
convincing
we
them is
cannot
not a
we
it's not a
cannot
big deal.
blindly. Yeah, we cannot.
Yeah.
Even I was rejected. One of the company that I worked last year, it is a major bank. Yeah, and for that bank, I was suggesting a plugin called Big Picture. Big Picture will help you to identify the map the Gantt chart with the activities. Yeah, and it went to the sandbox. I was really pushy because I was reporting to the IT director. But however, the security team, they have stopped it. And they said that
Yep.
okay, they cannot
Yeah.
do it, and especially these financial institutions, right? So they are very careful in approving these plugins.
Yeah. I was trying something with HTML. You know, the tests, the tests that you could add into Jira reports.
Right.
So that way they can just go in there and view it,
Mhm.
and you can just put a little report there. They can just
Right.
read it out. And they said because it's working, it has a plugin with HTML, it's a
Right.
security breach. They
Okay.
refuse to
Yeah.
approve it. So
So what
yeah.
will happen? All these things, right? So you will be having, not every customer is good, right? So you will be having some bad customers as well, which will be coming in the form of hackers. These hackers, so once maybe I have the code, and you know what they will do? They will try to penetrate into my bank. That's the reason most of the financial organizations, what they will be doing, so they will be, whatever the functionality that they are delivering, they will emphasize for a penetration testing. Penetration testing. Each and every functionality needs to be unit tested, integration tested, user acceptance tested, load tested, and penetration tested. And all of them, they need to be your definition of done. Then only your release manager will give a go. Otherwise, a strong no go. Boss, it is not meeting the penetration testing. You cannot move it to the market because it is a vulnerability. Yeah. But sorry, I'm just a little bit off the topic, but yeah, this is how uh, 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 at a high level things happen in the organizations. Okay,
A
Dish.
quick question.
Yes, brother.
Yes, please. How do you incorporate Kanban and Scrum
Mm.
for a team that actually does application support work and developmental work in the same sprint?
Not in the same sprint. That's not a good though. I experienced this situation for one of the teams that I was working. This particular Scrum Master, he was given two teams. One team, they were doing the development work, and another team, they were doing the support activities. For this particular team, we have incorporated Scrum, and for this particular support team, we have incorporated Kanban. In JIRA, you have a luxury to create both development board and Scrum board and Kanban board in a single project. You can do that. So here, when you go under the same, for example, just sorry, I'm going to the same because in my classes I have clearly shown. So this particular team, this Agile Rangers is a development work. So they are doing all this backlog, running the sprints, everything. And under the same ABC Bank project, you have another support team who is doing the support work activities also. Yeah, so under the same project, or you can create it to different projects if you want.
Because my team currently, my organization, they actually allocate 30% of their work to application
Oh,
support,
yeah, right. In that
and
case,
then
definitely I say that please do not mess. It will become messing up. Why you are using sprint? To have predictability, reliability. You need to generate the value. If you are starting, if you are running a sprints, you should not do the work that will endanger your sprint goal. If you are making your support work activities also part of the sprint, what will happen? Support, let us say, for example, a high priority ticket comes. You cannot to tell that, oh, you cannot, as I'm a scrum master, I have to protect the scope of the sprint. All those things will go into vain. It is impacting customer, you have to take it. Yeah, you may take. So because you are taking additional load, additional unpredictable work, they are also called as unplanned stories. They were not planned during the sprints. So you are taking unplanned stories in the middle of the sprint, and all these things will result in the developers to miss their sprint goal. The stories will slip. So there is no point of doing the commitment because we know that there is a lot of uncertainty. We should not start the sprints with this uncertainty. Not a good practice, friend. Yeah. So here you can, let us say if the team is working 20% on the Kanban activities, so create a separate boards. Definitely. Those are two different nature of works. In Kanban, in the support, you never know when an issue can land in your backlog. On a bad day, you may get 30 or 40 issues. Maybe network is down. A lot of financial impact, right? So major impact, a repetition. So everybody has to work on those things. So yeah, maybe I can talk in detail and then I can guide. But at a high level, with the 1 or 2 liners you told me, this is my suggestion.
Can I also add that I would, like you said, rather have separate boards, because imagine you're doing your daily stand-up. With a Scrum board, you're moving from right to left.
Yeah.
But with your Kanban side of thing, you have to move from left to right. So that may cause a bit more confusion.
Hang on. In Kanban, why you are moving left to right?
Because we are talking about it goes the other side for me, because we're talking about what you had done. It moves the other way in my organization.
Really?
When
Okay.
yeah.
So that is called as a workflow. How your work is moving from one stage to another.
Because we're having so we have the WIP limits.
Yeah, we have like
and
this one,
then
right? Maximum.
yes.
Maximum.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking at your board now. Okay, so we're talking about what you have done. We're talking from the done place, and it depends. I'm testing something new with the team, and we're talking from the left first for the Kanban. It's a new practice I learned. I'm just testing it out.
Maybe
I don't have
I
a Scrumban team. Sorry, what do you say?
No, I have to talk to you in detail, maybe because
Okay.
I don't want to comment just because without knowing, because you know much better about your team. But it is always important to keep an attention on the backlog, because it is the backlog is the to-do list. And by acting on the backlog items, you will be delivering the most valuable items. Not sure why you are focusing on the done items and then see how many items you have done. You can focus on the done items to help to understand, to have a better predictability. What is the velocity of my team, on at what rate they are doing, so that in the next iteration you can pick up the work accordingly.
So you're saying it's best to still do it from the left,
always
from the right to the left, same
always,
thing.
Always, darling. Yeah, from the left, from the backlog. Hey, these are my 10 items. What is our available capacity? What is the most important work that we need to do? And take up that work and then complete it. And if it is causing a lot of waiting times, identify why it is sitting in this particular development phase for too long. How can we minimize these waiting times? That's how you have to think about. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, Brian. Yeah.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've just joined a new team, and the team are broken down into pods, and as this is at an agency level. And what happens is that the team is working on like 4 or 5 clients items at a time, and within that, they also have a project. So there will be like different stories for the different clients and all those things. What would you suggest is the best structure? Because they have like retainer clients and they have projects. But the current Scrum Master, they put everything together in a Scrum, and it's conflicting with what the clients want, because the retainers, the clients come in with different things at different time within the sprint. So when I looked at the sprint health, it's really not healthy, because they don't really meet the sprint. Come again?
No, sorry. I said, of course, it won't be healthy. I said, okay, it was not healthy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So because I've just joined the team, and I'm just trying to have a proper setup. And when I speak to the POs, they kind of want a way where the retainers goes on Kanban, then the project stays in Scrum. What do you think about it, please?
Kenneth, I think I need to have a better understanding about this one. It's a little bit of a long story. Unfortunately, I can't really just directly do a suggestion. Maybe I want to listen a little bit more in detail. Can we connect maybe tomorrow sometime and then just quickly guide you on that one? Because I don't want you to take my guidance just like that, because I want to understand a little bit more about the setup and what are the challenges.
I will add you on link. I will add you on LinkedIn, and I'll send you a message if that's
right. Yeah,
for some reason I can't connect on Telegram, so I don't know why.
Oh, no. You can always connect on Telegram, and you can always post the questions there. No problem. As and when I have time, I will just respond. No problem.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Good.
I think with the Telegram you need to install it. I think
Yeah, you need to install the Telegram first.
too.
Then you have to install the Telegram. Earlier, I used to have the WhatsApp group. I was doing this, community service, and it exceeded 250 people. WhatsApp has a limit of 250. So that's the reason people suggested to go to Telegram, and then I got Telegram. Yeah. So the Grace, I message you the link, and then I will message one more time in the chat. So you have to install the Telegram group, and then you can join my Telegram group using this one. I just messaged one more time. So you can just click on join chat. Okay. I have my full-time 8 hours job, but I do these services after my working hours. My classes normally is at my time 9 o'clock, and on the weekends, something when time permits, I go for a free webinar. I always see it's not about teams, it's not about organizations, it's more about the community. With the knowledge and experience I have, what can I do for the agile community across the world? Yeah, that I always think. I always think about the
Hello.
success of the people.
Sorry, do you have Microsoft Azure knowledge?
Microserver?
Microsoft Azure. Do you have
Oh,
experience?
Azure DevOps?
Yes.
Azure DevOps at a high level. Once we are very clear with the fundamentals and units, I think it's more of these are all the tools, right? The look and feel, maybe the functionality here and there changes. I think we can sit for 1 or 2 days. But to answer your question, at a high level, I have seen those things, but I couldn't. But no, I was more into the JIRA world.
Okay. Because the organization we use Azure, so I wanted to know.
No, in the Azure, maybe in JIRA, you will be having, like for example, here, because yesterday I was looking at one of my students' JIRA board, and in the JIRA, you are having the Epic in the Epic panel like this, yeah. But maybe in the Azure, you will be having the feature directly. You click on add icon, you will be able to add stories. It's same thing. Okay, team, and yeah, if any of you are interested in joining my detailed batch about fully understanding the Scrum, JIRA, Confluence, with all the practical things, whatever I have told you is about 2% or 1% that I normally teach, and this is a 14-day session. This happens here starting on 26th of July, and you can, if you are interested, you can reach me on this email or the phone number, which will help you to complete certifications and go into the market, because you will be gaining all the practical experience, practical knowledge. It will become easy for you. It will make more confident to get into the job or perform your job more efficiently. Okay, team. So with that, I'm stopping the recording.
Okay.
Thank you very